Happy Friday, everyone. That means it's time for another book review before the weekend. This week I'm reviewing The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Here's the hardcover edition. First thing I want to say is this book is a beautiful book, and if you can get it in the hardcover, it's even got these really beautiful end papers inside. If you can get it in the hardcover, I'd recommend it, not only because it's a sumptuous, beautiful book to hold, and the feel and the design of it, but also talking to some readers who read this on Kindle or on their e-readers, it jumps around in time quite a bit, and it was a little bit difficult for people to follow. And if you have it in the book form, it's really quite easy to flip back and forth on pages. So it's one of those examples of a kind of book that proves why we still need to have paper books. I read most of mine on Kindle, but this one was a really lovely book to hold, and it was great to have the ability to flip back and forth pages. The book also, I was just going to say up front, is a book that I think definitely would be applicable to YA readers as well as adult readers, although the protagonists and all the characters are adults pretty much, although there are some youngsters in the book. I think that anyone who enjoys being transported to a magical world would enjoy this book, and it's not inappropriate for teens. So I think if you're a teen reader and you want to immerse yourself in a magical world, I highly recommend The Night Circus. This book is mostly a book that will appeal to people who do like to be transported to magical realms, who like books that are atmospheric and have really lovely description. There is a plot, although a lot of people complain it's a kind of thin plot, and I think that's a valid point. Essentially, there are these two characters that have created this contest. This isn't the first time they've done this contest. It's been over many, many years. It's a little unclear just how long it's gone on, but it's gone on for a long time, and it is a magical contest. A contest, if you will, between two maybe ways of teaching magic. And so each of these characters has a student, and they pit them against each other in an arena that this go around of the contest, the arena is the circus, the night circus. So we start the book with learning it's about the night circus, that it comes to town, that it comes only at night, that it sort of just shows up and is there for a period of time and then disappears. And that's our introduction, to the circus. There evolves in the book a love story that almost feels a little tangential to the point of the book, but at the same time, it is a really beautifully written love story. It's very romantic, and some of the scenes between Celia and Marco just, are so well written and so beautiful and lovely. You just kind of wish you were there. So these two magical people entering into a romance. I won't say a whole lot more about plot because I don't want to give anything away or give you a spoiler, but just know that this book is not a fast-moving, plot-driven, action-oriented book. It's definitely more of a slow read. It took me several weeks, which normally I might finish a book in a couple of days. So it's one that I know for me, I would read some pages, put it down, let it kind of sink in, and then the next day pick up and read a few more. So it's kind of a slower read. I think that the highlights of the Night Circus are definitely the circus. It's one of those places that the author has given us such wonderful, rich detail that as a reader, I started to believe it was a place I could really go, and I so want to go there. There are these people who follow the circus. I believe it's French, rêveurs, and they wear all black, and then they wear some piece of red, whether it be a scarf or a flower or something. Oh, and I forgot to mention this is set in Victorian times, so that's a fun little thing. If you like the Victorian period, it's a fun aspect of the book. So definitely, I know some of my friends would really like to be those people who follow the circus from place to place as it goes around and just be a part of that magical world. It's really cool. This author does a really great job of world building, and I'm not sure, since I read J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter book, and learned about Hogwarts, I'm not sure that I've read a book since then that had that level of detail and of thinking out the world and creating such a complete place. So Erin Morgenstern, kudos to you. This is a very imaginative book. it is one of the most imaginative books I've ever read in terms of the completeness of building this world. So it's really fun. And the magic is fun. So if you like magical stories, if you like stories that transport you to a different world, then you probably would really like The Night Circus. Also, you might like The Night Circus if you like romance, because there definitely is a romance in this book. It doesn't follow, in my view, a very typical, it's not a romance novel, in my view. It's not like a formulaic romance novel, but there is definitely a romance, and that is a very beautiful piece of this book. If you like books that are very plot-driven, action, 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 or just a really plot-driven book, you probably won't like The Night Circus. I also had a friend who didn't like The Night Circus very much because at the end of the day, she didn't really see a clearly developed theme or sort of like a bigger overarching point to the book. I don't disagree with that idea. For me, it didn't detract from my enjoyment of it because I just got really immersed in the world. And so I was reading it maybe more from that perspective. But again, if you're kind of looking for something that gives you a bigger message or a bigger theme, I'm not sure I found one here. But hey, if you have read The Night Circus and you think that too, if you kind of didn't like it or you agree with this idea that there wasn't really a theme, let me know. But if you think that you saw a theme or some overarching, maybe bigger message to the book, post me a comment on that too. I'd love to hear from you. Well, next week I will be doing on my blog Steampunk Week. Yay, steampunk! So Monday I'm going to be doing a post about what is steampunk, if we can define it, kind of get an idea of what it is for those of you who are not familiar with the genre. Also, I think it's more of a fashion too. So I'll be talking about that. And then Wednesday, I have a really cool writer chat with Jason G. Anderson, who is the author of Gears of Wonderland. So check back for that on my blog. And then next Friday, my book review will be Gears of Wonderland. So looking forward to next week. Steampunk Week, check back then. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend. I live in the desert Southwest. It's going to be the 70s here. It's totally gorgeous. Time to get outside. If you live someplace where it's snowy, I don't know, throw a snowball for me and enjoy some hot chocolate. And I'll talk to you next week. Ciao.